If I had a child, and then for some reason I weren't around to take care of my child, I would want whatever I had accomplished with my life to be of a benefit to him.
Hey everybody, what's going on? First of all, let me tell you real quick, this is not like rehearsed, read. I mean, there's some editing to it, but not usually on my part. This is all kind of winging it. Now, if YouTube analytics are correct, my audience base should know what the film The Crow starring Brandon Lee is. Not that new thing where it can't drizzle all the tizzle. I'm talking about the OG Brandon Lee The Crow. Great movie. If you don't know what it is, Google it. Oh, wait. And then when you're done Googling it, like, subscribe to this channel. Now that you've Googled it, now if you liked it, subscribe. I'm very impatient. I don't give you much time. Brandon Lee died on the set of The Crow. It was a tragic death. Now, it's always been kind of foreshadowed what really happened, but to bring you up to speed a lot quicker than I could, let's take a look at this clip.
The gun he was using was supposed to be loaded with blanks. When the cameras rolled, Brandon Lee was performing for the last time.
And he was in, critical condition. Somehow at that point, I don't know, I mean, I've got chills right down my spine, and I felt that he's not going to make it.
Mr. Lee's heart stopped, and efforts to resuscitate him were unsuccessful.
Wednesday afternoon, Brandon Lee was pronounced dead. The autopsy revealed some shocking information.
A .44 caliber bullet was removed from Lee's body. Detectives are proceeding with the investigation.
You don't see a .44 caliber slug on a movie set, and it's just that simple.
Ed Parker Jr. is a martial arts expert, an actor who appears in a new film biography about Bruce Lee. His father trained Bruce Lee back in the 60s. He says some in the martial arts world believe that Brandon Lee was murdered.
First talking about it being a projectile, then it being a .44 caliber slug. It goes from an accident to murder.
Brandon Lee's publicist has been quoted as saying it's no longer believed to be a special effect gone wrong. He's asking for a murder probe.
Look, just let me ask you whether it's going to be criminally negligent homicide. Get out of here.
The DA on the case wouldn't talk with us.
So one of the big questions, and I think it's always come from Bruce Lee, Brandon's dad. He made a lot of people angry back in the day, teaching and stuff like that. But in the movie The Game of Death, Bruce Lee's character was murdered. Well, it was a fake murder, because just watch Game of Death. They assassinate Bruce Lee by putting a bullet, real live ammo, into one of the guns on set. That kills him. That's how Brandon Lee died. There's a little bit of powder still left in a bullet. Now, before everybody starts saying they don't use real ammo on sets, they don't use real gun, they do. Maybe not so much anymore, but we just saw it happen with the Alec Baldwin thing in Rust. I have talked to plenty of stuntmen that said what they would do. Let's keep in mind, too, this is not only before the time of CG, or CG was very weak back then, I should say. The Crow was not a big budget movie. This was not a $200 million picture. It was a small film. They used guns, normal guns. And what they would do back then, so you still got the flash, they would open the bullet, they would take all the gunpowder out, and they would use it. It was essentially like a blank that had a little bit of fire on the muzzle. Little bit of residue was left in one of these bullets. Was it a tragic accident? Of course it was. There's nothing that's not tragic about this. And there's the scene where Brandon Lee, there's like 12, 13 people shooting at him. There's bullets going everywhere. One of those bullets that had a little bit of the powder hit him close to, a vital organ, and unfortunately he passed away. Now, there are people out there like Steven Seagal. I love my Segal now. He believes otherwise. There was a clip where he said, I've got people looking into this. I couldn't find that clip. But I did find him talking about Brandon Lee where he thinks there's something up.
Something is terribly, terribly wrong here. And either, somebody's trying to murder him or there's some kind of gross negligence.
We think that he's dead, but the guy shot a blank gun at him. how could he be dead? He's dying. He's, you know, severely hurt, maybe dead. And I said, you will find a projectile in him. You'll find a bullet in him. And they said, that can't be. You're crazy. And I said, you will find a bullet in him. And they called me in the morning. And they said, you're amazing. And I said, why? And they said, there was a bullet in him.
Wow.
And I can go through the whole story on what really happened, which most people don't know. But the long and the short is, when Brandon passed like that, I didn't sleep for 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
It just reminded me too much of certain things. And
So what do you think? Was this, we're all going to agree it's a tragedy, but do you think this was just an accident? Or do you think it was murder? I want you to leave me a comment and tell me what you think happened, why you think it happened. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a right or wrong answer. We're never going to know. I personally think it was an accident. Steven Seagal thinks someone murdered him. Everyone has an opinion. I'd sure like to know yours on this subject. Accident or hit? Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll be back with some more videos tomorrow.
People once believed that when someone dies, a crow carries their soul to the land of the dead. But sometimes, just sometimes, the crow can bring that soul back to put the wrong things right.
You're all going to die.
Is that gasoline I smell?
Victims, aren't we all?